Hello, welcome back to Froggy Ray Creations. Let me move my coffee. I'm a little unprepared. I thought I was prepared. Welcome back to Froggy Ray Creations. I'm Andi. Um, it's been crazy. Last week we had the kids had spring break, so they were home all week, and it was hectic. There was absolutely no chance to do. I think I did a couple of videos, but they were very short. Mostly just happy mail. So today I wanted to do a couple of things. First, this is an announcement. It's late, I apologize, but we can make it work. We made it work last month. We're perfecting it. So for the BFF Mystery Swap collaboration that I'm hosting with Erin at Coop's Place Craft, her and I, we started this last month. Excuse me. So you're paired up with a partner. You ship them a box of goodies. They ship you a box of goodies. You make something with the box they send you, and then you mail that item back to said person, and vice versa. And then you want to send things that, like, I mean, don't send anything that you don't want back, because that person gets to keep your items. The biggest challenge of the box is you're stuck using like what you get. So I'm going to show you some things, how to pack a box, but basically from the contents of your box is like whatever is on it and in it and it. That's all you get to use to create your items. Now, things like scissors, glues, tapes, all of that stuff are considered tools, punches. We've even included sewing, laminating pouches, you know, different little things to kind of help aid it along. But you can't, like, if this was all that you got in your box, I can't be like, oh, I really want to use, you know, this brown paper, but I didn't get brown paper, so you can't use brown paper. You know what I mean? It it is a little tricky to figure out or whatever. But one of the trickiest parts of it is thinking, you know, one of the things that I struggled with it was you have so many ideas, but then when you start breaking it down, you're like, oh, but it's like a not really finished product. And that's where my brain disconnected on a lot of it, was like, oh, well, I can build a shell of something or a partial of something, you know, because it just depends on what you're sent. And it's not their fault or your fault, whatever, you know, it's just sometimes you don't have enough things to work with, or you have so many things that, but you know, there's just a lot of, like, it took a lot of brain power is all I'm saying, a lot of creativity on my part, to try to figure out, because I wanted it to be pretty and be useful and whatever, but you know, I did the best I could. And so anyways, I hope my swap partners like what they got. I loved what, oh wait, I haven't gotten my boxes yet. I can't say that I love it yet. I know I will though. One thing that we did figure out, or at least I figured out, and seemed that other people figured out pretty early on, was when I assigned the swap partner, well, when Erin and I assigned the swap partners, we sent them each an email, and they decided amongst themselves how many items they were going to send to each other. That way one person wasn't sending 100 items and the other person was only getting, you know, sending 25, and one person didn't feel left out. Like, if that's what you wanted to do, that's your business. But they took it even a step further. So we had a couple of swap partners that decided that they wanted to stick to card making. The other ones, there were a couple, the one swap partners that decided they wanted to challenge each other by, like, I craft this, you craft this, let's swap and see if I can make those things that you make. And, you know, that, I thought they were kind of, it was neat how everybody took their own take on it. I sent stuff to make things that, and I feel like this is kind of what, the way that it goes, But I tried to send things in my box that were, I know both of my swap partners have received my box, so I can tell you what I put in it. But I put things like, I put pocket letters, I cut down cards to make, you know, blank backgrounds to make Twinchies. I put book pages in it, all the things that I did. And I tried to keep it, excuse me, pretty generic, because you can use paints, you can use marker, crayons, whatever kind of like, that's considered a tool also, stamping, embossing, you know, all of those things. So I tried to keep mine, I can't remember exactly, but fairly like bland in the decorative department, just so that, you know, they could do whatever they liked. But so basically, when packing a box, what I thought, you know, and which a couple of other people did, my initial first video of this series of events is chaotic. I am a chaotic crafter, but I tried to keep it like crazy, tame, crazy, I guess. So I put, like I said, I think I put one, oh, and that's the other thing, that's the challenge of it all is, you know, you have one thing in the box and it's like, well, shoot, if I mess this up, I don't have another one. So I was practicing with punches and doing things with other people's pieces of paper that I didn't need to mess up, and measuring and cutting with other things that I like, okay, I like that, I'm gonna match that back up, you know, just to not, because you're really stuck with what you got. So I put a pocket letter, and I geared it kind of towards pocket letter. I think I sent even some like blank ATCs, the standard card, the glossy ones. I sent some of my trim here that I love. I sent some drywall fiberglass stuff, just some different trims, some different washies, maybe, I don't remember. Just, you know, a blend of different things. But anyway, so you could send, if you wanted to do pocket letters, you could do that. You could send fabric, like I've got all this cool fabric, you know, you could send some different fabrics in your box. Papers like, you know, papers like this, they even fold out. You could almost put these together and make like a journal with it. I know a lot of people were going with like a journal theme. I tried to do that, but I'm just not a journal maker yet. Like, I mean, a little bit, like I've made baby ones, but you know, I did some homemade, this is not my homemade paper, but I made homemade paper for my, my people. Like ledger paper you can use. Another good thing I suggest is like some tissue paper. The Amazon, this is just a slice of it, but the Amazon paper that comes with all of your beautiful Happy Mails and packages and hauls that people get, that's good to do. I put some mulberry paper in there. That's what, my little threads of pages. Mulberry paper in mine. But you just want to kind of, it's not as chaotic as I said initially. I threw in some mini playing cards so they could do altered cards if they wanted to. Or the beautiful part of it is that you only have to make one thing. Like they could have made, I don't even know what they're sending back. You could make one ATC out of the whole box that I send you. And it doesn't even have to be this big or this packed. You know, this is a pretty small size box, but it doesn't even have to be this big or packed. It could be, you know, a half of this size or an envelope or whatever. It doesn't have to be gigantic. But you're only obligated to make one item. So if they just make an ATC with maybe a little bit of the papers on there, that's, you know, that's totally fine. And then whatever is left in the box is for them. You know, that's kind of the point of it. It's more like sharing and whatevering. But I know some people have gone as far as to try to make or use like the majority of the box. And I get why, because I know a lot of people are like, oh, I have a ton of stuff. Let me just try to see what I can do with all of these things, which is cool. You know, do whatever you like. But so I just wanted to get on and talk about that. And I did want to mention that we are going to do April, and it's going to be, you know, a little crunch time, I guess. So I don't want to set necessarily like a deadline of like too far out, but I do want to say, you know, if you want to be involved in April's BFF mystery swap, I apologize, there's a plane that's about to fly by. It might get loud. I can't see the calendar. April, I should have taken better notes. Let's see. I guess if you get back to me by April, me or Erin, I'll link our emails in the description, myself or Erin, by next Monday or Tuesday. And if you're a couple of days late, that's fine. But, you know, if you start getting out too late, it's going to be hard to ship boxes and things like that. Another thing that we have kind of run into is, you know, shipping, it's out of our control. You know, you can put the item in the mail, but then it's up to the post office. I had a mail thing that I was looking at last night, a piece of mail coming to me from my informed delivery. It said it would be here today, and I looked last night and it was in Indianapolis, which means it had one other stop and then me. And I thought, cool, I'm gonna get it Monday morning, or, you know, Monday afternoon. So excited. I looked today and now it's in South Carolina. I do not live in South Carolina. I live in Indiana. And so now it's in North Carolina. So it's coming back, I guess. But anyway, very crazy. So things like that happen. It seems to happen predominantly to myself, but it does happen to a few others. Poor Allison. Anyway, so just things like that to be mindful of, you know, like, I'm a procrastinator. I will admit to that. It's a big problem that I have, but sometimes it's out of my, you know, control. But anyway, we need people to get back to us. So I would say by Monday or Tuesday of next week, if you could let us know if you want to participate. We have had a couple of new people want to join in. I don't know if any of the previous persons would like to participate again. If people do want to participate again, we are going to change partners. So nobody's getting the same person over and over. Just have that awareness that way. I've made like a whole spreadsheet. So in February, or I guess it was March's box. Yeah, March of the BFF swap. I know who partnered with who. That way this next month we'll switch people around. It's a little stressful. I don't necessarily recommend it, but I did do 2. So I had Jen Cleveland from Clever Duck Creations, and I had Allison McQueen as my swap partners. Kind of me and Allison, it was just kind of like a last minute thing. So it was, you know, just on a whim or whatever. So if you do want to do something like that, you're more than welcome to. It's a little difficult to do too. That's all I'm saying. But you're more than welcome. Just let me know what you want to coordinate or whatever. And then we'll go from there. And we're going to do things a little bit differently this time because I feel like with collaboration, we should have been mentioning every single person that was being involved. And a lot of people don't necessarily, you're not required to have social medias, but there's got to be some way to tag you or something. So I don't, you know, like, I guess we'll just list your name if you don't have socials, but, you know, just to give like the people that are participating, because I know some people aren't going to be doing videos of what, like Allison doesn't do videos, so she's not going to do a video of my box. Maybe share pictures on her Instagram, but Clever Duck Creations, she was my swap partner as well, and she will hopefully do a video of the unboxing of my attempt at being awesome creatively. Anyway, so if you have any questions, I'm going to try to list everything in the description, and I'm going to make a post about this. The thing that I really need is, it's not to, you can say it here too in the comments. I totally love that. But an email, like that, I'm going to see more, and I'm going to be able to get your email address already down, you know, have everything that I need. So if you could send an email to myself at FroggyRaeRoeder@gmail.com or to Erin at CoopsPlaceCrafts@gmail.com, that would be superbly helpful. But I also, again, will link that down below. Anyway, so yeah, it was really fun. I cannot tell you how fun just to see some of the people's stuff and everything. So if you haven't seen any, go back and watch it. We did our own, Erin fabulously created a thumbnail for it, and it's so cute. But anyway, there was a lot of people. I think we had 14 participants, so it was quite a turnout, and hopefully it'll keep growing. I intend to do it every month, and so far I'm pretty sure Erin's on board with it, because we've just had a great time. It's fun meeting new people and challenging ourselves with sending new things. And, you know, I'm a chaotic crafter, so working with another chaotic crafter is super brilliant. But, you know, getting somebody different, it's going to challenge me. It's going to make me go outside of my comfort zone, which is kind of what the point of the whole challenge is to learn new things, meet new people, and, you know, just share our creativity. And yeah, so I hope you join. I hope you found it fun, those of you that did join, and you come back. I understand breaks and things, it was a little stressful, and next month hopefully we'll get a bigger start on things, and you know, we'll perfect it. We're just starting out with this kind of a collab, so bear with us. And yeah, I'm gonna love you and leave you, and look for those emails. All right, you guys have a great day. Thank you for watching.